Alright guys, so we're in lesson 4, and tonight we're going to learn about, or today whenever you're watching this video, you're going to learn about deductive reasoning. Just really quick introduction. It's the process of reasoning logically from given statements or facts to come up with a conclusion. And notice, as we talked about, valid and true do not mean the same thing. Okay? And so the law of detachment states that if a P to Q is a valid statement, then P happens and Q happens. So there's 3 steps to this. Okay? And so we're going to use our example from earlier in the week. If it is hot, it is summer. Okay? So that's my P to Q. So then my second statement is going to be it is hot. So what's our valid conclusion? Well, that valid conclusion is it is summer. So that's detachment. It just takes your original statement and it breaks it apart into its pieces, literally detaches it from itself, so that you have 2 new statements that are basically just restating the first statement. And that's what detachment is. So we're going to look at that a little bit more in class just to practice it. I got a couple examples here that I'm going to get you to do in class. On the other hand, you have what's called syllogism. And syllogism is a chain. Okay? And so if a figure is a square, so we're going to talk about syllogism. I'm going to put it up here just to show it to you real quick before I get into this, actually. So syllogism is a chain. So syllogism still starts P to Q, but then we use the first hypothesis to make a new statement, Q to R. And so if both of these are true, what ends up happening is, and if you remember from the transitive property, like for example, if 1 plus 1 is 2, and 2 is 1 times 1, or 1 times 2, then 1 plus 1 is equal to 1 times 2. So, and I'll do it again. So if 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, and 2 is equal to 1 times 2, so then the final statement is 1 plus 1 is equal to 1 times 2. That was the transitive property. So the law of syllogism does the same exact thing. And so in order for something to follow the law of syllogism, we have to have that flow. So if a figure is a square, then a figure is a rectangle. That's P to Q. If a figure is a rectangle, then the figure has 4 sides. That's Q to R. So what's our logical conclusion? Well, we come back. I've used rectangle twice, so I can't use that again. And so following the transitive property, it basically is saying that if a figure is a square, then it has 4 sides. And that's my P to R statement. Okay? What we're going to learn by doing this together is that sometimes you can get that good flow logically, and sometimes you can't. So I want to, in class with you, identify when you can't get that good flow logically. Okay? And so we're going to do those when we talk, and then I'm going to give you guys some practice. But the big thing to focus on is that they're both 3-step processes. It's just that detachment takes an original statement and breaks it apart. And syllogism takes an original statement, expands upon that original statement, and then compares the 2 things that are not shared. So it's kind of like the transitive property. And so when you think law of syllogism, you really need to think about the transitive property. I'll see you guys in class for us to finish up this discussion.